going on, everyone? And welcome to episode number 39 of the Diego Collie Football Show. And the Seattle Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. What a surreal thing to say. What a day yesterday. What a stressful day. And, what a stressful week. A culmination of a stressful week, NFC Championship week, divisional matchup. It was a whirlwind. This last 24 hours has been a whirlwind. So I'm just going to get into the Seahawks game. We'll talk about the Patriots game afterwards. But just to start the morning, man, anything to do with the AFC Championship felt like a bit of just an afterthought. I didn't really care at all what was going on in the AFC Championship. And that game ends up being a decent game. The blizzard comes on, not like great in quality, but it was entertaining. But the whole time, it's just like seeing news, seeing guys that are going to be inactive, like Elijah Roy wasn't going to play. Robbie Utes wasn't going to play, just kind of overthinking little things that didn't really need to be overthought. Just waiting for kickoff and seeing all the people in attendance, all the ex-players, celebrities, the videos on the social media. It was just like waiting for time to pass. And boy, did the game live up to the hype. Wow. Every single game against the Rams this year went down to the wire. These are three of the best games of the entire season. 3 games with huge game-breaking plays that could have gone either way, that really just swing the events of the entire football game. When a game like that, it comes down to, I'd say, 4 or 5 plays that the Seahawks won them the football game. So let's just go through the game a little bit. To start the game, the Seahawks, they came out hot. And I tweeted before the game started. Give me a follow on Twitter at CollieDiego. I tweeted, I was like, can we just please start fast? I did not want to get in the hole and give the Rams any sort of confidence to start the game. And I didn't really want them to anything to happen to take the air out of the crowd. And I know the crowd would have been in the game the entire time. But if you go 3-0 to start, the Rams score, they have a chance to go up 2 scores. That's kind of something that can kind of take out all the wind in the sails that you had pregame when the flag was raised and you got the kickoff started and all that juice before the game. That can be eliminated with something like that with a slow start. So I was very, very happy with the start. They forced the Rams to go 3 and out, and the place is rocking. They punt it back to the Seahawks, and Clint Kubiak schemes up one of his best opening drives of the entire season. It was Kenneth Walker getting yards on the ground very, very easily. It was the 3rd play of the game on 3rd and 5. Something that I mentioned in the preview for the game. I didn't want them to just settle for these hitches around the first down marker. Just only be going for the first down marker. He has Rashid Shaheed pressed up, and he takes a shot to him. And quite frankly, I thought Shaheed was going to score. He gets kind of shoestring tackled, but it's a 51-yard bomb from Sam Darnold that kind of just eases the emotions of me, to be honest, to start the game. And I think a lot of people in that crowd, it was an early 3rd down. It could have went 3 and out, back and forth. And they came out fearless. They take the shot. And another thing I liked on the offensive side of the ball is the next play, they throw a little screen pass to JSN. And this is a run pass option. So you can either hand this ball off, the offensive line is blocking run, or you can just throw a little bubble screen to Jackson Smith and Jigba, who has one-on-one, and he makes one man miss and gains 16 yards. They did that multiple times in this game just to kind of it was a really good exploit to kind of have there, because when the Rams went man-to-man and they knew they had that, they were trusting their receiver to make one man miss and get a first down. And that was something that they did multiple times in that game. So it was a fantastic start. And the Rams moved the ball down the field. Something in this game, though, I do have to say, is the amount of chunk plays that the Rams had was absolutely just brutal. There was points in the game where they're just gashing you. And on the second drive, they only get 1 first down, I believe. But it's a 41-yard pass to Puka Nacua when he just toasts the secondary. Devin Witherspoon falls down, and I believe that's who was guarding him. And the Seahawks go down, and they have a chance to go 14-3. And if they went up 14-3, I can't lie, I would have been feeling like there's not much that can happen for them to lose this football game. And they end up stalling out. They can't get anything going once they get to the goal line. A holding penalty on Bradford kind of holds them back there, and they get 3 points. And it's 10-3, and it's kind of like the Seahawks have been in control of this game. The Rams have had 1 first down, and they're only down 7. They're getting the ball back. They got to go down and get 3 again. And then this is kind of the stretch where the Seahawks let the Rams back into the football game. 2 drives that end up in punts, and it's kind of just negative plays. I believe one of the drives there was a botched snap where they just, that's a negative play that you're not going to be able to recover when you have 2nd and 19, and then you take a sack on 2nd and 19, it's 3rd and 27. That was kind of a killer. The Rams score in a kind of a dominant drive, to be honest. In this one, they go on 13-10, and McVay has a great play design. It's a little rub route. It is a rub route. It's a pick play. And Puka picks Kobe Bryant, who's supposed to be man-to-man on Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams is wide open. They score, make it 13-10. And there was a point here when I was pretty frustrated at what I was watching, because it was 13-10. The Seahawks get the ball back, and you get the ball coming out of half. So there's about 2 minutes to go. I believe there was 2 minutes to go. And this was one of those sequences that can win or lose a football game. The Seahawks get the ball here. They get the ball coming out of half. I was just hoping to get 3 points. I tweeted, I said, just get 3 points here, going into the half, tied up. You get the ball at a half, go take the lead. They go 3 and out. It was an ugly 3 and out. And he tries to go throw a ball to Cup into a tight window on 2nd down and 8, incompleted. And then a bit of a frustrating play is George Halani in there on 3rd and 8. It's an all-out blitz. He chips his guy. Sam does the right thing. He checks into it. He brings Halani in from the outside. He motions him in, and he's hot. There's like 7 dudes running towards him. Halani has to get his head around. And that's when you have to flip the ball to him. That's a play that you really miss Zach Charbonnet, and that was a big thing to notice early in the game, was not having Halani in that Charbonnet in that spot where he would totally be there. He would have his head on a swivel. He would have that awareness. He's been in that situation multiple times this year. It was a game-breaking play, and you punt the ball back to the Rams with 1:40 to go. And it's like, now they can get 3. If they get 7 here, you're down 10 going into the half. That is such a turn of events in the first quarter. And this is one of those sequences. And this was a sequence that Nicky Minori asserted himself and got the Seahawks the lead back on his own right here. Because Kyron Williams runs for 5 yards on the first down. And they hand the ball off because if it's a negative play there, they might want to take it toward the half. But it gets 2nd and 5. And Nicky Minori is man-to-man with Puka Nacua, and I'll talk about it later, but the corners struggled today. The corners, every single corner had a rough stretch of the game, or a rough stretch of multiple plays where they're getting cooked, whether it was by Puka, whether it was by Devontae, by whoever else, by a running back. They had a rough stretch, and Nicky Minori is manned up on Puka Nacua in the slot. Puka runs a slant out route. It's a little behind him, but Minori goes down, breaks up the pass, and it gets you to 3rd and 5, and he's manned up on Ronnie Rivers, the running back. And it's another little out route towards the sideline, and he breaks on the ball perfectly and breaks it up again and gives the Seahawks the ball back on his own without them having to use any of their timeouts. So they get the ball back 55 seconds after they had just went 3 and out with 1:55 to go. They get the ball back with a chance to go get 3 points again. They get redemption. It was practically a rerun, and they have all 3 timeouts. And this was a beautiful sequence of events by Clint Kubiak. This was a game-changing sequence of events by Clint Kubiak because they got in the field goal range quick. Darnold takes a shot deep. It was a little corner post to JSN. Cameron Curl bites on the corner. It was a beautiful route. The throw is a little bit towards the middle of the field. It could have been a little bit more underneath, I thought, a little bit more on a line, but he gives his receiver a chance to make a play. Curl targets JSN, blatantly leading with the helmet. Gets no flag called there, but JSN makes the catch. He ends a dominant first half on this drive. He ends with 100 yards in the first half after this sequence because he does this. They get down to the 36, and then you're in this spot. You don't have to be too aggressive. Obviously, you want to get 7, but sometimes you see coordinators like, let's not take too many shots. We don't want to turn the ball over. Let's settle with 3. Like, we're fine taking 3 here going into the half, and that is not what they did. Sam was calculated here. He didn't try to force it on the next play. He checks it out to Halani, who gets 13 yards. Halani was great in that kind of middle area of after that first kind of blunder he had that I mentioned. I thought he was pretty good in the receiving game. On big 3rd downs, he was good after the catch. He had a good day through the air, and that was really helpful without Charbonnet out there because you couldn't play K9 every snap. But after that, you get down to the 14-yard line. You have 1st and goal after the Halani play, and you have a false start. So now you're on the 14, 30 seconds left. You have 1 timeout left. And Clint Kubiak calls an absolutely masterful play. It's a little scissor route. JSN in the backfield, motions to the backfield. It's on the left side of Darnold, and there's 2 guys to the left. So the Rams have no way to cover this. I mean, there is a way to do it, but in this situation, usually, if it's man-to-man, whether it's zone, the linebacker is the guy that's looking at Jackson Smith-Njigba in the backfield. That is his responsibility. Nate Landman cannot account for JSN. And Cooper Kupp occupies the flat, so that flat corner in zone cannot fly back on that because he'll check it down to Cooper Kupp. It was a beautiful play design. The safety had no chance. Darnold, it kind of gets overlooked on this play because the play design was so good. JSN was wide open. There's a guy right in his face. I mean, Charles Cross kind of gets beat. And Bradford gets bull rushed, I believe. He's like flat on his back. And Darnold's retreating, just gives his receiver a chance. And he just floats one out there to JSN, who he knows is going to be wide open, doesn't try to do too much, and gives the Seahawks the lead going into the half. That was a game-changing sequence by the Seahawks offense that put them in a great position going into the second half. And coming out of the second half, you're up 4 points. You have a chance to go up 2 scores. And they kind of muff it a little bit. Early in the game, before I mentioned this, what happened on this punt, there was a play where Xavier Smith, the punt returner, bobbled the ball. He bobbled the ball, bounced off his chest. And Derek Young, who after he had fair caught the ball, is going up and standing on the side of him. Usually you want to stand in front of the guy for the bobble. He went to stand on the side. Like, I don't know if that was the plan, what he was trying to prevent there, but he dropped the ball. And that could have been a ball to the Seahawks. Jumped on, scored points there, made a 2-possession game early. And it was a missed opportunity. And they've sent the same guy out there again. And I mentioned it last week. I said, is there a play on special teams that you can do to kind of sway the game? Now, this wasn't necessarily Jay Harbaugh winning the football. He didn't make this decision. But another huge special teams play that the Seahawks make over the Los Angeles Rams. They send out Xavier Smith again after he's muffed the ball, and he muffs it again. He kind of doesn't really know what he's doing. He looks uncomfortable. He falls backwards onto his back, bounces off his shoulders. Derek Young hops on. He learns from his mistake. He's ready to jump on the ball. And they gives the Seahawks a second chance after going, turning the ball, or not after not turning the ball over, but you get 1 first down and then you go 3 and out to start the second half, when the Rams would have had a chance to take the lead right there. So you get the ball, and then the first play of the drive from the 17-yard line, Jake Bobo gets in the end zone. Probably the last person I would have expected to be in the end zone. And it's actually funny because it was his 3rd catch of the season. He's been out there a lot recently. He's been out there in the run game a lot recently. He's been out there blocking. There's been multiple times where it's Bobo and Cooper Kupp in, and it's like, what do we think they're going to do? They're going to hand the ball off. They kind of caught him off guard here. Bobo runs another double move. It was another kind of corner post type route. And Darnold stands in again. There's a guy in his face. Seahawks run a concept where they only have 2 guys running routes. JSN's running a little fade up the right sideline. It's not there because they're in the cover 2. And Bobo is kind of isolated on the left side, runs a double move. Sam steps in, leads him toward the middle of the field. He knows there's no safety there, and delivers a strike and gives the Seahawks a 2-possession lead. And this led to another kind of frustrating sequence of events because this lead was so short-lived. It was a 2-minute. They had a 2-possession lead for 2 minutes because the Rams went out and scored in 4 plays. 4 plays. I mean, it was easy. I have to give respect to Matthew Stafford. He was making every throw. There was not really one throw where I was like, oh, he missed him a little bit there. There was early in the game where he kind of missed some guys or his feet looked a little quick, but he didn't make a decision into anyone's hands. And once he got in that second half, I mean, the dude was lights out. I mean, he's hitting deep shots to Colby Parkinson. That throw on this drive, he floats over Josh Job's hands. That's MVP level stuff. And the guy's 38. And that's just, you have to respect that. And McVay was calling a hell of a game. It's not like he was, the run game was having some success. And one thing I was kind of worried about, and they gashed us a little bit. There was points in the game where they were gashing them for yardage. Kyron Williams was averaging 4 yards a carry. Corum was 9 for 55. So he's averaging like 6. But McVay was like, we're going to keep taking shots. I mean, we're beating these guys right now. And I can't even fault him for that because that's what was happening. So they go down and score right away. And all of a sudden, it's like that special teams touchdown is kind of effectively erased. And the Seahawks respond again. Some big 3rd down conversions in this game. I thought Darnold, I'm going to talk about his game in a second once I kind of recap the whole thing, but he was outstanding. He was outstanding, and he delivers to Kupp on a 3rd and 3, and Kupp makes this run after the catch to get in the end zone, dive in the end zone for a touchdown against his former team. And the next drive, the Rams bounce back again, and this was the sequence in the game where if the Seahawks lost, this would have been looked at for years to come. They get off the field in 3rd and 12. Reek Woolen breaks the ball up, and he's jawing at the sideline. They throw the flag for taunting, and I think everyone in the stadium, everyone online, every Seahawks fan was like, if they lose the game, I mean, Reek Woolen wouldn't have been able to show his face in Seattle ever again. It would have been ugly. And they won the game. Like I'm happy for him because of that. Because obviously he made a mistake, but I feel like it was a bad call. Early on in this game, the refs made it known that they were going to let him play a little bit. After the first running play of the game by the Rams, Ernest Jones is kind of standing over the pile. And Dotson, the Rams guard, fully shoves him right in front of the referee. And in some games, I'd give you penalty. Like, I'm not saying I want that called, but there was lots of pushing and shoving, like jawing after the play. Like, I think this is a game where you let him play. Yes, he like went towards the Rams sideline, which he totally should have done. It was an insanely bonehead decision. Just go to your sideline. It's on the opposite. It was like seconds after the play too, because he celebrates with his team, and he kind of just shuffles in front of McVay, and he kind of goes toward him, and that's why they call it. But it was a scrappy game the whole way. Like, if that wasn't called, no one's looking back at it like, I can't believe they let Tariq Woolen do this and didn't call a flag. I thought that was pretty soft. And the next play, he gets burned by Puka Nacua, and Stafford makes another insane throw 34 yards down the field to get in the end zone. And all of a sudden, it's a one-score game, and the Seahawks punt after they were in a spot where they were moving the football. They got down to the Rams 44, and Darnold takes a sack on first down. It was a perfectly timed blitz by Chris Shula, the LA defensive coordinator. It's a play-action pass. He goes right to the line, and he sacks him, and that kills the drive. I mean, you get a 4th, 3rd, and 10. You can't convert, and you punt the ball back. And all of a sudden, the Rams can go down in the fourth quarter and take the lead. And they had a hell of a drive. They had it. 14 plays, 84 yards, 8 minutes. They got the ball with 12 minutes to go in the game. The Seahawks did not touch the ball until there were 4 minutes and 55 seconds left to go. They were trying to ice the game, and I don't blame them. And the drive started with them just getting chunk play after chunk play. The first 3 plays, they get a new first down. They're at the 50-yard line with 10 minutes to go. And then they occupy 6 minutes of time across the next 50 yards. Like, McVay was calling a great drive, and I can't even fault him for this. And there were some back-breaking plays from a Seahawks perspective on this drive. I mean, just off the top of my head, I mean, they're moving the football. The 3rd and 1, obviously, if you're a Rams fan, Colby Parkinson is wide open. Nwosu is falling back on it. It's a fake pressure. He goes back on the crossing route. If he is a half a second earlier, he picks the ball off. But he misses it. Parkinson drops it. That's a huge break. And you get to 4th and 1, and they don't run it. They had 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. They did not run it once. And they were getting 4 to 6 yards carry, like almost every time. And Stafford drops back, and there's no one open. And he runs for the first down. And DeMarcus Lawrence hits him like a yard before the line, and he kind of shrugs him off. And if they lose the game, and you on a Stafford rushing for the 4th and 1 to kind of seal it, that would have been just a haunting play to have to watch back and be seen on every single social media platform. But this team does what they've done all season long. All season long. The Rams get it down to the 12-yard line. It's 1st and 10. And they complete the ball to Puka in the middle of the field. And it's 2nd and 4. And Tyrese Knight, I want to give a shout out to Tyrese Knight because I think it's going to be overlooked. Drake Thomas leaves this game early in this drive with a shoulder injury. And Tyrese Knight comes in. He hasn't played much middle linebacker all season. I mean, he's filled in some games. But on this 2nd and 4 play, it's another play that's going to be forgotten. It's 2nd and 4, and Kyren Williams has an open running lane. He's going to get at least 2 to 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. And Tyrese Knight shoots the gap and dives for his legs and brings him down for a gain of 0. He does not get any yard on the play. And that gets you to a 3rd and 4. It's kind of more of a passing down. And Devin Witherspoon, who had a rough day, he was falling down all over the field, makes a play that the number 5 pick in the draft should make. 2 plays in a row. Pass breakups on Mumfield, where Stafford's rolling to the right. He kind of has him. He dives to break it up. And on 4th and goal, the 4th and goal play call where McVay calls it a fortuitous bust. He's just bitching in the post game where they're trying to go to Kyren Williams on a wheel route. That's where the play is going. And Stafford looks there, and Julian Love is beat. He's coming on a blitz, and he is trailing Kyren. But DeMarcus Lawrence, one of the greatest free agent acquisitions in Seahawks history, sees this and shoots back. And the Seahawks are rushing 3 people. And I thought Stafford rushed him. I thought he rushed his process here because there's only 3 guys. There's one guy being blocked on the left. Byron Murphy's on Stafford's right side being blocked. Like, he's not making a run at the quarterback. There's 4 guys in the middle of the line blocking one dude. If Stafford steps to his right and steps up, he can maybe find Puka breaking to the right side, force it to Puka, force it to Devontae. Instead, he forces it to Terrence Ferguson, the rookie tight end, for effectively the season. And Devin Witherspoon makes the play. And that was like, because I was thinking all the outcomes were going through in my brain. It's like, Sam Darnold's going to have to go and win this football game. And I would have felt fine about that based on how the game played. But when your team is on the offensive end, like we need to go score here to win the game or field goal to tie it. God, that is not a feeling I wanted to have. And the defense stepped up again. And then Clint Kubiak called it outstanding possession. There's 5 minutes to go in this game. The Rams have, I don't think they had all their timeouts because I believe they had, no, they did. They had all 3. And the usage was interesting. But some teams here just like, we're going to run the ball every time and maybe hope to get a first down and punt the ball back, waste some clock. McDonald said this morning on Brock and Salk, he was like, we have a process for that. We wanted to go. We were saying we're going to go win the football game. We did not want them to touch the ball. We were going to be aggressive. And that's exactly what they did. They run the ball on first down, which is you're on the 6-yard line, so you want to get some breathing room. They throw it on second down to Kenneth Walker, who catches an out route at about 3 yards. He's not getting the first down. He turns back inside, makes 2 guys miss to get a first down. That's first down number 1. You're going to need 3 to 4, 4 to 5 to clinch the football game. They run it on first down again with 3:30 to go. LA timeout. Next, an absolute robbery of a play. They're taking a play action shot. They're trying to end this football game. Rashid Shaheed is on the sideline. He's probably going to catch the football, dragging his feet. And I don't know who, Quentin Lake comes up and just shoves Shaheed, and the ball hits him in the helmet. And there's people telling me that this was an uncatchable ball. If he was not out of bounds, if the ball hits his helmet after he's shoved, would it not have effectively been in his breadbasket to catch the ball? And he's a second early, too. That was an egregious no call, I thought, by the referees. And then Rams fans are going to use the next play. It's a completed pass to Cooper Kupp where he dives to the first down. And was he an inch short? Maybe. You can't really tell. And they're like, this is robbery. This is one of the craziest things of all time. How is this even a catch? Well, he took 4 steps, and he extended the ball. How many times have you ever seen when someone extends the ball and then the ball falls loose? He's down by contact. He made the catch. Clearly, he's dragging someone on his back. It was absolutely a catch. And if it wasn't, it was going to be 4th and an inch. They're going to barnyard and get the first down. But you can't call robbery on something when the play before you were gifted, not a flag. It was going to be automatic first down at the 50-yard line. And then the Seahawks have, again, go through the throw. They were running on first down, throwing on second. He finds JSN, who gets unlucky. He's trying to slide down in bounds. He goes out of bounds, kind of gives them some life, and there's only 3 minutes to go. And once again, they are aggressive. You run the ball on first down. At this point, there's 3 minutes to go, and the Rams have no timeouts left. If you run it 3 times and give them the ball back, there's going to be 120. And if you don't get a first down, some people, like a lot of coaches in the NFL, I believe, would even go, we're going to run it on the first down, so we'll throw it on third. Like we'll throw it after the 2 minute. And that's not what they did. They run it on first down, 2nd and 7, and they're throwing on second down. And Jason's open, but Cooper Kupp gets held. It's blatant holding. He's in his collar. And that gives them a first down, and that should have effectively ended the game, which, I mean, it practically does. I mean, they hand the ball off 3 times here. They punt the ball back. Michael Dixon has a hell of a game. All 4 punts were pinned inside the 20-yard line. And this last one, pinned inside the 7. If you give Stafford the ball in the 20, I don't care how much, there was 30 seconds left, 25 seconds left. I mean, he completes a 23-yard pass on first down to get to midfield. I mean, that's what he does on this play. And he gets you to the 30, and they have to spike it. But he would get you to midfield, and you'd have a Hail Mary opportunity. And they almost did, because he gets another 21-yard completion to the 50, and Jason's diving, Puka's sliding, and his knee touches down, and the Seahawks win the football game. And just the weight of the world felt like it came off my shoulders. I can only imagine the people in the stands, the people on that team. What a football game. It lived up to all the hype. You cannot be mad at, like, both teams. I mean, Rams fans, some of them were complaining. There's respect shown both ways. These were, in my opinion, 2 of the best teams in football this entire season. Some things about the game. Sam Darnold, the best game of his career, in the biggest moment of his career. And there's people online, Emmanuel Acko, Ryan Clark. Oh, I can't believe the Rams let Sam Darnold do this. He's been a good quarterback all season long in the last 2 seasons. There's Vikings fans like, oh, Darnold wants to play good now. You give him a comparable O-line. That was a horrible game plan that Kevin O'Connell had last year. He's getting sacked 9 times. You can't. He's always been this player. He's had some bad moments, yes. But people act like he wasn't a first-round pick. He wasn't a highly touted quarterback. People act like he's some, like, Jarrett Stidham level guy who people are getting, like, letting just slice to the team. It was a stupid narrative. And I'm so happy he shut the doubters up. And I can't wait for in 2 weeks for him to do it again. Another thing. Well, he was just making amazing throws. There was only one throw I went back and watched this morning where I really thought, like, I don't know if he should have let that one rip. I'm going to pull up his pass chart here, actually. But there was really only one throw where I thought I didn't really love it. I mean, look at him. He's taking shots, and I've been begging for them to take shots for weeks now. And they finally did it. Third play of the game, they take a shot. They take a shot before halftime. They're not being passive. The touchdown to Jason, he stands in the pocket. The touchdown to Bobo, he stands in the pocket, delivers. He was throwing with conviction. There was a few times he took sacks where he was like, I'm not going to force this. Like, this is, I don't need to force anything here. Like, we're going to be fine. I'll take a sack. We'll trust our defense. That's what they showed to do. JSN, I mean, oh my God, what more can you say about him? He had 100 of these yards in the first half. It felt like every time you needed him, he was there. He was great after the catch, I thought, and that's what he's always been. But there was multiple times where it's not like he's catching a crosser and just continuing to run. He's catching the ball underneath. He's catching the ball at 10 yards, making a man miss and getting to 20. Like, that's just the kind of game that he had. That one-handed catch, I mean, that thing didn't even move out of his palm. Clinton Kubiak, he was a guy who, even after the win last time, I criticized. I didn't love the way he called the game early in the game. I didn't love how he managed to run. He called the best game of his career in this game, the best game of his life. He had an answer in the red zone. He had the answer on big third downs. He wasn't too passive. He wasn't trying to. He wasn't trying to get too cute, which I think is something that he is still victim to at times this year. He didn't outthink himself. He was like, I'm going to trust my quarterback to drop back and make a play. I'm going to trust my players out here with the ball in their hands. I'm not going to try to out-scheme something because I know the guys on the field have it in them. He was outstanding in this game. Kenneth Walker was great. His stats weren't the most amazing, but I mean, some of those runs, especially on that first drive, he's making dudes miss every single time. And the touchdown is blown up. There's 4 guys in his face. He makes one break, gets outside, and scores a touchdown to set the tone. One thing, I didn't really love was the usage of George Halani. I thought he was great in the pass game. I mean, 3 catches for 27 yards, but he only carried the ball 3 times. And I'm gonna look at his snap count right now. He played 23 snaps. I mean, that's something in the Super Bowl. You're gonna have to hand him the ball if you more than 3 times. You're gonna give him 23 snaps. Because at some points, like it was when he was in the game, that's when they're taking their play action shot. And I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, it didn't seem like the Rams probably picked up on some of it. They couldn't really do anything to stop it, but that's a tendency that they kind of have to get rid of. And I'm fine having like K9 it would like to be like the first play of the drive. And it's like, okay, they do a play action shot with Halani, then bring K9 in to run the ball. I just thought that was weird. But Jake Bobo, I mean, wow, you can't ask for more there. Just a well-rounded effort on the defensive side of the ball. They struggled. Man. Stafford was on his game. And when you're playing a high-level quarterback and a genius head coach, this is going to happen. But they were getting diced. I mean, every corner seemed like they had a rough day. Every single one. There was not one guy where I was like, man, he had a really strong day out there. But can we talk about the best player on maybe the entire field yesterday? That was Nicky Minwari. I mean, if you look at the PFF ratings, he grades out like 15 points better than anyone on the defense. He grades out at a 90. Julian Love's at a 75. And I think that shows. He was their best player in coverage yesterday. And that's insane. He had 3 pass breakups. The entire team had 6. He had half the team's entire pass breakups. He was the best player on the field. He was the best player in the run game. He didn't do a single thing wrong. He's holding his teammates. He's going to be one of the best players in the entire league. I'm going to get a Nicky Minwari Super Bowl jersey. I want the patch on there because he is turning one of my favorite players in the entire team. 5 tackles, only missed 1. He was just constantly disrupting in the backfield. He's blitzing all the time. He's doing so many things at such a high level. I can't believe that the league let Mike McDonald get Nicky Minwari. What else? Something else that was frustrating. They had 9 missed tackles. This was one of the worst tackling games in a while, arguably the entire year. It was kind of weird to see. And they did a poor job of guarding the running back out of the backfield. I mean, if you look at this running back production, Blake Corum had 3 receptions, 24 yards. Kyron Williams had 2 for 22. And a lot of that was in like the last few drives. It was kind of like when they were moving on that drive that they didn't end up scoring on, it was check down the running back is going to get 15 yards. Check down the running back is going to get 6. It was just check down, because they were dropping so far back because they were getting torched in the secondary. And on that side, I mean, you have to say that McVay had McDonald's number. And I think Mike will admit that to you. McVay had an answer to almost anything that they went to. They only had 1. They finally sacked him. That was early in the game. DeMarcus Lawrence gets to him. But he definitely had his number. And when your head coach is making the right play calls over a good defensive coach, and your quarterback, who's an MVP, is locked in playing at that level, I mean, they're a hard team to beat. And the Seahawks found a way to win the game. I can't say enough about this team. I mean, the post game, I couldn't just stop watching videos last night. I mean, McDonald and Schneider hugging after the game, the amount of players on the field. I mean, Matthew Hasselbeck waving the flag with Jody Allen, Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill. It was one of the most satisfying endings to the game I think I've ever watched. It was crazy. And just to see this team where we're at, they're going to the Super Bowl. They are going to the Super Bowl, which is honestly a ridiculous thing to say. So that's all I got there. I mean, this team they're set up. They're Super Bowl favorites. Now go get it in 2 weeks. I can't. This is gonna be all I'm gonna think about for 2 weeks. So let's get to the AFC Championship. What a weird football game. Just a contrast. This was an offensive battle. The Seahawks was 31-27, and you watch this Denver game 10-7, and it starts clear skies. I mean, I said it. I was like, the weather's going to be clear in Denver this weekend. It'll be interesting if Stidham can let it rip. And the game turns into an absolute blizzard in the second half, and which is weird because Denver must not have a heated field or anything, because that snow was sticking. Guys were slipping. They had no traction. It was ugly. It was a nightmare scenario for Sean Payton, because we're a team that has struggled to run the football. RJ Harvey was 13 for 37. Struggling to run the football. Now it's in the snow where they know you're going to run the football, and you have a quarterback that hasn't played in 3 years. It's a recipe for disaster. I mean, Drake May threw for 86 yards, and they won the football game. And it comes down to a lot of coaching decisions, I think. Because to start this game, the Broncos had momentum. Stiddy was cooking. He hits Marvin Mims for a 52-yard pass. They get in the end zone. They're moving the ball again. And when the Patriots can't do anything, the Patriots could do nothing all day. All day. And the Broncos, everything the Patriots did in this game was gifted to them by the Broncos. It's true. Because the Broncos score they have all the momentum. Drake May cannot do anything. And they're moving the football again. It's 4th and 1. And Sean Payton decides to go for it, which I'm not mad at. People are like, revisionist history. If he took the 3 points, it would have been tied and they would have found a way. I still think they lose that game either way. I'm not mad at going for it overall. But I don't like going boot there. I feel like boot was the most obvious play call you could do. And in this day and age in the NFL, when the tush push is so dominant and hard to stop and hard to govern. I mean, late in the game, it's 4th and 1. Drake made it as a tush push, and you can't really see the ball, so they just give him the first down. Stidham's a big guy. Tush push it. Get him under center and get a yard. I think if you're going to go there, that's what you do. Or I don't really like handing the ball off. I think they shoot the gap and Milt Williams in the middle there. But I don't like going to boot there with Stidham, and they were all over it. They brought the house out the edge. There was no one open. They had the boot guarded. They had both the fullback and it was never going to be there. And from that moment on, the Patriots still can't get anything going. But Stidham gives them a touchdown. It should have been a defensive touchdown. This was ridiculous to me. The play gets blown dead. It's screen pass. It's not there. He should look at the screen. It's 3rd and 4. It's a screen pass. It's not there. You're not going to run. There's a dude in your face. Just throw it 50 yards in the end zone. Instead, or not in the end zone, into the seats. Instead, he pump fakes it, and instead of just throwing it at the guy's feet as well, he does like a two-handed shovel pass, but he's getting turned to the side. So the ball ends up going backwards, and the Patriots pick it up and run it in. And the whistle's being blown, but it's a clear pickup and touchdown. And they review it. Vrabel wants to challenge it. Vrabel's pissed. And they say, oh, it's going to be a New England ball. Yeah, obviously it's New England ball. The ball went backwards. But how is that on a defensive touchdown? If the Patriots don't get 7 there, that is absolutely ridiculous. But they do. Drake May runs it in. And it's clear for a while. Denver misses a field goal at the end of the half. And the Patriots miss their own field goal. Just sloppiness back and forth. The score is 7-7. And the Patriots end up getting the go-ahead field goal to start the second half. It was a good drive, aided by Drake May's legs. He has a big 30-yard run on 3rd down. And that is the game winner. It's a 16-play, 10-minute drive. That's hard-nosed football there. It was a lot of Ramondre. And I don't know whether that's because they didn't trust Travion. I mean, he carried the ball 3 times for 5 yards. It's kind of puzzling to me. I mean, towards the end of the game, I get it because it's snowy and you want the veteran to have the ball in your hands. But Trayvon's been there all day for you, and especially early in the game when you're trying to break a big playoff. I don't really see why that was the answer there. I don't think he got hurt. I mean, am I missing something? I actually don't know if he did get hurt, but I think they could have benefited with him getting some carries early in the game. I thought it was really, really weird that he did it. Yeah, it doesn't really say that he got hurt. He only played 4 snaps, season low in snaps. Really, really weird situation. He was their home run hitter on the offensive side of the ball, and they didn't give him the ball. Really, really weird. But after this is when the snowfall starts to come. It starts to come with about 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, and it starts coming down hard. And the Broncos go 3 and out 2 times in a row. They don't touch the ball again until there's 11 minutes to go in the fourth, and they just can't do anything. And they could get a lot of opportunities too, because the Patriots give them the ball on the 33-yard line. It was a kind of a botched punt because you can't even see anything. And the ref's kind of just guessing when the ball goes out of bounds because he can't see anything himself. I mean, you couldn't even see. They had to put the digital lines up on the screen because you could not see absolutely anything on the TV. It was hard to watch. And sometimes there was a play when I was like, oh my God, Stidham has a dude wide open, and he didn't because the Patriots had their white uniforms on. So that was kind of crazy. But they can't get any yards. They get the ball in the 33. At that point, it's a 50-yard field goal. You lose 3. Stidham runs for 8. And that gets you to a point when I believe it was 40-something, 45 yards, and it gets blocked. And I thought he just missed it. It was a knuckler. The defensive lineman jumps and blocks it. That's arguably the play of the game. It is the play of the game because without that, I don't know who's going to get points here. I really have no idea who is making the plays to get points because you couldn't do anything. Teams were just selling out to stop the run, and especially when the Broncos got their chance at a game-winning drive or a game-tying drive, they get the ball at the 30-yard line. He dumps off to Harvey for a yard, and then it's like Stidham's just trying to end the game. He takes a little 3-step drop and just throws it right at Christian Gonzalez, taking a shot to Marvin Mims, I believe, leaves the ball on the inside, underthrows it, game over, and the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl to match up with the Seattle Seahawks in a rematch. It's a weird game to even look at. This is the game, I don't even know if the Seahawks are going to watch this game. They'll watch the first half of it, but you can't take much from it. The second half is blizzard conditions. There's nothing you can really learn from seeing that. They're a gritty team. We know that. They're undefeated on the road. Mike Vrabel is going to have his guys ready. They're not going to get blown out. I mean, just looking at they have 3 losses this year. And they had a weak schedule. Yes, I know that. But 2 of them were in the first 3 weeks. They lost the Steelers by 7 in the game where they turned the ball over like 5 times. They lost the Raiders by 7 in week 1, which is a crazy thing to look at. And they lost the Bills by 4. And again, they're up 21-0. They're not going to fall behind by a lot. Like, they're not going to get themselves in holes. I mean, they've showed it. Their defensive line is elite. Milton Williams is elite. It's a good match. I'm not going to get fully into the matchup right now, but on the receiving end, the Seahawks corners should be able to have some success. I like the matchup if I'm a Seahawks fan. I really do. But the defense on this team was just rocking. I mean, Tonga in the middle of the field. Milton Williams is an absolute monster. He had 8 pressures. They had 28 pressures in the entire game. 3 sacks. Milton Williams had 8. He was a game wrecker. He's going to be circled on the game plan every single day for the Seahawks. Chason had 4 pressures. Christian Ellis had 4. Elijah Ponder had 3. They were getting after Stidham, and it was early in the game. He kind of looked like he had some momentum going. He's completing passes, and then the Patriots realized after that fumble, I think he was all in his own head, but the Patriots just started bringing pressure. And with a guy that hasn't played a game in 3 weeks, he hasn't seen this ramped up pressure on him. I mean, in 3 years, he hasn't seen this amount of people in his face at all times, all trying to kill him. I just don't think he was ready for the moment. And I don't think it's hard to blame him on Sean Payton, but the running game was flawed. It was flawed all year. And I think, honestly, this shows. I mean, Bo Nix did cover up some holes on this team. Cortland Sutton is a guy that, I mean, woof, dude. You're supposed to be his number 1 alpha receiver. I didn't see it. I saw multiple drops in big moments. Failure to make a big play. That's what I said. That's what someone's gonna have to do. Someone's gonna have to make a big play on a 50-50 ball, and Stidham was gonna have to trust some guys through the air. And I'm not saying he couldn't trust them, but no one stepped up and became that alpha dog and took over the game. So sets up a matchup, a rematch. I'm gonna wrap up the show here. A lot of Super Bowl content going to be coming. I think I'm going to do an episode at the end of the week. I'm going to have a big Super Bowl preview coming up next week. I don't know. I'll figure out the schedule. Hopefully 1 episode this week, 2 episodes next week. Yeah, I might do a little bit of an award show at the end, just kind of because the NFL honors will be next week, but I'm not going to talk about that next week. Maybe a coaching search such award show, and then save all the Super Bowl coverage for next week. Cover any news, any injury news on both sides of the ball, both teams. The Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you're listening to this podcast, go give the YouTube video a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Go Hawks. We'll see you in Santa Clara.